Hello students, how you doing today? I've had some requests to put a video together on how to play the different parts of the Chamarrita, like a Portuguese square dance sort of a thing, on guitar. And I actually made some tablature that's available. I'm going to show you how it goes and how it sounds and feels, along with a metronome that I have on display so you can put it in context of the time. I got multiple cameras going, so hopefully it'll give you plenty of information on how to do this on the guitar and accompany for a Chamarrita. So let's get to it. First off, you can use a thumb pick like this if you want, or you can just use your actual thumb. It's been recommended to me to use one of these so you don't get a blister from practicing. But we're just going to start with it really slow and start with a really slow tempo on the metronome. This is the first part of the Chamarrita. There's two parts. The first part is in 3, and sometimes people would even say it's in 6. If you look at the tab that I made for this, we're going to be playing it in the key of G. So mostly for almost probably 98% of the tune, you're actually going to be playing G and D. C will come into play much later on. This is the simple finger picking style that we're doing first, and then we're going to add some extra bass run things where you're doing a walk up and doing a walk down. And those will come later, but this is the basic stuff that you start with. If you look at the tab, using your fingers to mark a regular G chord in the left hand, and you're going to hit the 6th string, which is the note 3 on the tab. And then you're going to do accompaniment by hitting these 3 strings, 1, 2, and 3. Hitting strings 1, 2, and 3. You're going to pluck them with the same 3 fingers, 1, 2, 3. Okay? And then the next time you do the cycle, which is technically on count 4 if we're in 6, you're going to hit string 4 with G chord on your left hand. That's an open string. Okay, so that's what you play on the G chord. On the D chord, you're going to use your fingers to make the finger map of the D chord, D major. And you're going to hit the 4th string first, and then the 5th string second. That's all you have to do on the D chord. If you look at it from the perspective of cycles, you can look at it as when you do each once at a time, that's one cycle. For the G chord, this is one cycle. And then for the D chord, this is one cycle. So each of those cycles happen twice. You do the G cycle 2 times through, and then you do the D cycle 2 times through, and that's it, and you go back and forth. Let's put it in the context of the metronome. And this is way slow. This is way slower than it's supposed to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. And then we jump over to the D version of the accompaniment. Through and go. And that's it. We're going to speed up the tempo, and we're going to put them in context with each other. So I'm going to start with the D chord because when we officially start the song, it actually starts on the D chord anyway. So I'm just going to do that to make sure that this is in context and it doesn't throw anybody off when you have to get used to actually starting the tune. I'm going to speed it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. So that's just the basic, very basic thing that should be happening most of the time that you're doing this accompaniment. And we're going to go ahead and speed it up a little bit to put it closer to the actual tempo. Starting with D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. In the context of playing this in 6/4, you have to make sure that the root note for the G, it's the 6th chord, the 6th string. You have to make sure that that one happens on beat 1 as much as possible out of the 6, because we're playing in 6/4 technically. On 1 as much as possible, and then on the D chord, you got to make sure that string 4 is happening on beat 1 as much as possible. Alright, so that's really important just to get the feel, but also to feel how the accompaniment works with the time itself, because it's very important that the time is there for the dancers to be dancing to it appropriately. We're going to do it one more time, a little faster, closer to the actual tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. Really, it's not so much the left hand, it's more the right hand that you got to get used to. Because the left hand is just basic chords that have to be played. Okay, if you look at the tab, I show how to do a little bit more of an intermediate accompaniment that is something you don't necessarily want to be doing all the time, but you want to be doing it some of the time to just kind of give it some variety as opposed to always doing that same basic thing that I just showed you. So I'm going to show you how to improve the bass line a little bit and change the accompaniment so that it's a little more interesting. And we're going to start really slow once more. And so here's the difference between this and the original one. So you're going to be outlining the chord through strings 4, 5, and 6, and you're going to play 6, 5, 4, 6, 5, 4. So that's the G chord. Let me show you in context with the metronome. So that's the G chord. That's what you're going to be doing on the G chord. And I'm also going to show you the walk-up now before I move over to the D chord. There's a really easy walk-up to do here where you just go 6, 5, 4, 6, 5, and then you're going to move your middle finger on the left hand, middle finger on the left hand to the 3rd fret to play that step. It's just a step right here that leads you up to the open D string right here for the D chord. And so it's actually kind of easy because you're just moving the middle finger from the 3rd fret on the 6th string over here to the 3rd fret on the 5th string. I'll put it in context of the metronome. On the 2nd cycle. Let me show you again. 4, 5, 6. So that's it. All right, cool. So now we're moving over to the D chord for the little the little flurry that happens on the D chord, and it's actually mostly just a walk down. So from the D chord, we're going. It's the whole part of the second cycle. The first cycle, again, is just the regular D chord thing that I showed you earlier. And then the whole thing, it's 6 steps. So here, 2nd fret, 4th string. And then we walk down. And then we walk down. Let me put it in the context of the metronome. Again. Put them together. I'm going to start with the D since that's how we're starting the song. So that's the more intermediate version of it that you want to do some of the time. The tricky part is doing it fluently and without losing the time, because the song can be pretty dang fast. So let's bring the tempo up. I'm going to show you again. I'm just going to start from G this time. Speed it up. Just got to get used to it. I don't know if I can do it this fast. Let's try it. Don't do it every time. All right, so that's the guitar accompaniment. Now, when we get to the end and we're going to show the dancers that we're about to end, usually there's somebody playing a melody, and that's very often in a keyboard instrument. Sometimes it's on the guitar. What you do to show the dancers that we're going to the end is that we go to C, then D, then back to G, and usually it's a lot better to just strum instead of just doing finger picking, because it's a really good indicator to the dancers to get louder at the very end of the tune to show them that you're about to finish. And I'll show you how that works. Let's bring the tempo back down again. So it just goes like this, and I'll just show you a simple way and then the way that I would recommend you do it. So you're just going from G, da, 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 and C, da, 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 D, da, 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 G, da, 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 C, da, 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 D, 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 da, da, G, G, G. You're You want that first beat to be strong and adjust as downstroke. And then you do some upstrokes and downstrokes after that first beat and that fourth beat, because those are the strong beats of the feel anyway. Here it is. C. Do it faster. All right, there you go. That's how it ends, where you just want to like strum on the first and fourth beats, strong downstroke, and then maybe it could just be 3. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anyway, the best thing you can do is practice. Go through this, go through the tab, watch the video again, get it under your fingers, and just get used to that feel, because it's all about that feel. That feel is super important. Good luck. Have at it. Let me know if you have any questions. Find me, email me, text me, whatever. Peace. Have fun. Yeah.